In this new series, I will show you what all professional modelers on YouTube don't want you to see. You will see firsthand how a SolidWorks professional models a random object in SolidWorks from scratch to end without skipping any steps or explanations, and you'll get the practice sheets for download as well, free. Since I saw a huge gap for this thorough explanation among all SolidWorks tutorials on YouTube, I decided to make this new exercise series for beginners in SolidWorks, and it's going to work exactly like the following. 1. We choose an object of appropriate complexity, and I model it all the way to the end in 2 different videos. Why 2, you ask? You didn't ask? You should ask that. In the first video, I'll model that object without any humps, perfectly and smoothly without encountering any issues whatsoever, all the way to the end. What is a hump? It is something all professional modelers are hiding in the editing of their videos that they upload on YouTube. I do that all the time. It's all those steps that they get stuck at. Yes, even at a professional level, sometimes you get stuck for slight moments, time to time. Sometimes it's for a logical reason, sometimes it doesn't even make sense, and you just have to reset or restart SolidWorks and it solves your issue. So I'll put the edited version up first and name it edited, just like the name of this video. And 2, on the second video, I'll record my actual process of modeling that object for the very first time without any edit, and I'll name that uncut. Who is this series for? Who is this series not for? And what does this even mean? What is it for? Let's get to that quickly. 1. I will not do any high-end modeling in this video. No surface modeling, no sheet metals, etc. I will stick to the starter level for now. So if you're coming to this video from my new 2021 beginner series, then you're a perfect fit. 2. If you're not a beginner, if you're a fast learner, if you don't want to learn the software this deep, then you will be bored out of your mind watching this, especially the uncut version. So if this is you, then this series is absolutely not for you. 3. What does this mean? The aim of this series is to help you comprehend and once and for all understand and implement the meaning of basic 3D modeling, reading 2D views and converting them into 3D models. Understand the mindset you need to adapt to gradually turn the expert inside you on and activate it. Lastly, I'm emphasizing on this. If you're serious about improving yourself, make sure to go to the description section of this video, or on the top right corner, click on the link, go and download the practice sheet that I have put for you there, do the homework, and I'll guarantee you better results. Okay, enough of chit chat, let's get started with the modeling. So this is the speaker that I'm going to use as the model for this episode. I haven't done this before. It is consisted of different components and they are assembled together. As you can see, I can demontage it again and can put it back together. However, doing so requires working with multi-body design, and since you are beginners, I'm deciding whether or not should I do it multi-body or... All right, I will refer to it for a second and then move on, but then I'm gonna make it as one complete solid body. You can see that we have some cavity here. I'm gonna measure all of this. I'm gonna use this caliper, very cheap, but does the job. So this is going to be the model, and when I see this object and I want to model it, I try to break it down into its main features and its main geometry. So what are the main features that we see over here? We have a surface here, which is kind of an oval, and we have a circle concave like this. Of course, there is a ring here, there is another surface here, there are different materials, I'm not denying that, but there is one big surface here which is very softly going in, and then it gives a room, or it's a bank to this speaker set here. I don't know what this surface is called. If you know that, you can comment it below. We have the casing, right? The geometry of the casing goes from oval. It's not an exact oval, it's just kind of like a slot. It goes back to some sort of a rectangle with rounded edges. So on the back, we have a different geometry, and on the front we have a different geometry. And since these two are on two different planes, the perfect tool, a lot of you might know that already for this, is Loft. I could show you that too in a different video. I have already made an ultimate tutorial for Loft. If you want to know how that works, you can go and watch this. The link, I'm going to put the link in the description below. But in this case, I'm going to start a little bit easier. If I draw a rectangle, I'm not going to measure anything, as I said, and I'm just going to extrude it randomly. Let's just say 20, no, let's just say 50. And then over here, I'm going to activate draft and draft it outward, because as you can see, this oval here is bigger than this geometry on the back. So it kind of expands outward. It drafts outward. So check outward and then increase the angle until we have something like this. You can see that. I can click OK and go work with like professional level Loft. It's variable size, fillet. You could just select this edge that you want to select. It would give you different points. Let's see, V1 is this one. So this end is V1. The radius is going to be much bigger. I'm going to set it to 20, 40. Okay. And on V2, which is this end, I'm going to set it to 10. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so it's going to be rounded up like this, as you can see. Then I can quickly just mirror this back and forth. Mirror this feature like that, and then another feature. Sorry, another mirror. Yeah, obviously. Okay, so it kind of gives us that geometry, but it kind of looks really ugly. We don't want to do kind of. We want to do accurate. That's why I have the calipers. So I do have to use Loft, and for that, again, you can go to the description below. I have explained Loft in details perfectly. Watch that and come back here if you don't know how Loft works. So let's delete everything and let me start from the top. Okay. Okay. I have the width here at, and by the way, my dimensions are in millimeters. And as always, I will put the conversion on the bottom right corner of the screen in inches. So 94.1 millimeters is the width of the slot, and this is the case, the shell. We can just reduce the wall thickness from it, but I'm going to do that later. Okay, the length is a little bit longer than the caliper's range, so I'm going to do it roughly from somewhere here. We have 35.2 on top of 160, 195.2. Okay, I'm gonna use straight slot. Go up. Actually, I don't like this. I told you in the beginner series, I always want to put my sketch in the middle, so the coordinate point is in the center of my sketch. For that, I'm going to use this type instead of this one. So the first point defines the center point. Now my slot is in the middle, or the coordinate point is in the center of my slot. Dimensions, I just said 195 point something, but let's just round it up, 195. And by the way, if you are wondering how I selected these two endpoints, because if you just select these two, it just converts it into the center to center. However, I did the max dimension. It's a quick pro tip. If you hold shift on your keyboard, then select the arcs, you are able to do the min and max dimensioning at the same time. There is no need to put a point on your arc and stuff like that. Okay, we have 95, and it was, I forgot, 94.6. Let's just do this one with the accurately. Okay, so this is the outer shell, right? And I'm gonna leave it at this and rebuild the sketch. I have one sketch right here ready. For Loft, we need at least two. Let's just measure the depth. 81, right, 77, 78.8. We're gonna do 78.8. Okay, we need the second sketch to be at 78.8 millimeters away from this plane. So since we use the front plane, we're gonna have to create a duplicate of the front plane and then put it at 78.8 millimeters away from this one. How do we duplicate that? Obviously I can quickly do it like this and just add the 78.8 and done, but you wouldn't know what I did, so let's just do it slowly. Front plane, then you go to the features tab, click on reference geometry, and then pick plane, and then set it to 78.8. Let's just flip it to the other side and click OK. Good. Now we're gonna click on this new plane and click on sketch and make it normal too. And now we're gonna draw this geometry on the back, a rectangle with rounded edges, a width of 74. So let's pick center rectangle from here. This is this type, center rectangle, and draw something like this. Use smart dimension. Guys, I'm using mouse gesture on habit. I just turned my mouse like smart to smart dimension like this. But if you don't know how to do it, this is not the video to learn that. You can just go on sketch tab, pick smart dimension manually. Okay, so pick that, and we select these two lines, set it to 74.4. Nice. And we're gonna need the height over here. Let's just quickly measure it like this. This one's 59. Let's do 160. 160. This is going to be this, and we have a rounded edge here. How do I measure the arc length over here, or the radius here? It's difficult to find the center of this arc and therefore measure the radius. I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to measure the length of the arc because it's an easier act to do. I'm going to take a piece of post-it here and place it where the arc starts, which is somewhere around here, and bend it. Wait. Bend it all the way to here. I would say this is this much from here to here, roughly. So this is my arc length. I can simply measure this one, which is about 41 millimeters. So let's see how I deal with that. Make it normal too, and make an arc. I can use sketch fillet, but if I want to use this, then I need the radius. Since I don't have the radius and I don't want to do a reverse engineering to find the radius, I will do something different. I will pick 3-point arc, place 1 point here, 2nd point here, and the 3rd point somewhere here. Press escape. First of all, I'm gonna hold control, select this line and the arc, and make him go tangential. I'm gonna repeat that, this one and this one, tangential. Now I'm gonna pick smart dimension, select the 1st point, select the 2nd point, select the body of the arc to turn my smart dimension into arc length. Then I set it at 41 point something. Let's just leave it at 41. See how it happened? Now, I have 2 closed sketches right now, and if I do this 3 more times, I'm gonna end up having way more. So if you can see, we have 1 sketch, 1 closed sketch here, and 1 here. We want to get rid of the outer ones. How do we do that? Use trim entities, leave it at power trim, and check the box, keep trimmed entities as construction geometry. If you don't do that, what you get rid of could damage the status of your sketch, which was fully defined. Now it's back to being underdefined. So let me Control Z back to the state where it's fully defined and black. If you don't know what fully defined and underdefined means, you should go watch my 2021 series for beginners where I explain this and more. So you select trim entities, you check this box. So when you get rid of these entities, it doesn't get rid of them, it just turns them into construction lines and they lose function. It's not a closed area anymore. Now all I have to do is to repeat that a couple of more times, and the faster way to do this is to measure the radius here with a smart dimension. Now that we know the arc length is 41, the radius turns out to be 26.1. So quickly I'm gonna select this 26.1 and convert my 3 other points into rounded edges. Did you see what I did? And click OK. Now I have 2 different sketch two different sketches on two different planes. I'm going to hide my plane, and I'm ready to do the loft because it's a simple loft. So features tab, pick loft, pick the first sketch, pick the second sketch, and you get a loft which is a little bit twisted. I don't like it, and the reason for that is these 2 points are selected automatically by SolidWorks as a start and end point. So I'm gonna have to use some guide curves, and it makes the complexity of this video a little bit, to be honest, more. Guide curves have to be on a different planes when you're working with loft. Again, go watch that loft video. Now it's more important than ever. I'm gonna pick right plane, activate the sketch, take line, and place 2 points here, done, and place 2 more points here, another line here and here, escape, get rid of it, unlock rotation. All right, our sketch is not fully defined because it's not connected to our sketch, and to do so, all you have to do is to select that point, hold the control key down, select your sketch, then click on pierce and add pierce as a sketch relation to those entities. Now it's black. If I do the same over here, point, control, line, pierce, and it goes fully defined, which is perfect. And my mistake is I technically had to draw these 2 guidelines on 2 different sketch sets, but both of them are here. So let's see what we can do. Another thing I forgot. Again, pierce. Guys, when I select it from this shortcut, it's just faster. There is no difference between this and what happens here. Okay, this. Now let's see what we can do with this. Loft, first, second sketch. We go to the guide curves section. We select this guide curve. All right, since we have 2 guide curves drawn on 1 sketch set, SolidWorks needs to know, okay, are these together? Do you want to select them individually? That's why you get this box, which is called Selection Manager. And I'm going to leave it at that. Select Open Loop and check. So another time, I'm going to select the other one. Again, Open Loop, check. Now I have selected 2 guidelines in 1 sketch. Again, it's not perfect. You see these warped surface over here? I really don't like that. So it turns out this rounded radius is not working perfectly with this. So what can I do to solve this one? Maybe I have to add another guide curve here to fix it. I can click OK quickly so you guys see how ugly it would look. Look, it's kind of warped on these 2 edges. I'm gonna select my right plane which cuts my component in half, and then go cut my component in half. Faster way would be to go to the surface tab. This is a very quick tip, and select cut with surface, then select the right plane and say whatever's on the other side, just cut it for me please, thank you very much. And since my component is absolutely symmetrical, I know if I mirror this, I have already taken care of the other side again. I mean, at least this is what I think. Let's see if it actually works. Right plane, go back to features tab, select mirror. It's a body, so we go to bodies. If you don't know what a body is, then you have to watch my other video where I explain the difference between a feature and body. I'm gonna put the link in the description below. Select the body and click OK. Nice. Although I get this line in the middle, but nothing has changed. The geometry is the same. I have taken care of that side. There is only 1 warp here, and that can be fixed with another cutting again. Select this plane, cut it in half, and this time mirror it this way. The fact that I can use my planes immediately to mirror my component is because I have set every sketch I had from the beginning on the center of my canvas. The coordinate points was in the middle of my sketch. I could go and add way more guide curves to get a similar or very homogenic surface, but I decided to do it like this. Now we have some rounded edges over here. Again, you can use the same trick. You can use a piece of paper, measure it. Okay, the arc length is 72. This time I'm going to create something like this. Or better, let's go back because I have the accurate angle here. I'm gonna pick the right plane, activate the sketch. I'm gonna draw one sketch from here to here, one from here to here, and I'm gonna use 3-point arc. Yes, this is the best way. Let's quickly fix this line because it's just for reference, no use for them. And I just wanted to have this angle here, and I don't need to measure it again because it's already existing here. I'm just gonna build upon it and get the radius I want, and then go back and use fillet, and then use that fillet. So select these two, make them tangential, select these two, make them tangential, and now pick smart dimension, first point, second point, arc, make it, what did I say? I forgot. It was not 40, it was like 7. Yeah, 7 millimeters. And now we measure the radius that we need, which is 5.18. Now I can delete everything. All I wanted was that radius, 5.18. Done. Okay. So we go to fillet, set it to normal type, 5.18. And I'm gonna select this plane, and then boom. This is the exact effect I wanted to have here. As you can see on my screen, it's very similar to that already. Right, now let's rotate this a little bit more. No curves here, maybe very small. We're gonna ignore that. And I need to know the wall thickness over here. The wall thickness is 3 millimeters. And the reason I did that is because I wanna shell this component out, scoop all these materials out, and leave nothing but a wall of 3 millimeters all around, including the one in the back. And the perfect tool to do this, very quickly said, is shell. All you have to do is to select the face that you want to open up and set your wall thickness to 3 and then click OK. So this is, looks very realistic, to be honest. This is going to be my speaker's shell. Quickly save it. We've done enough so far. And now the surface on the top doesn't need measurement because it just has to fit in here. And I'm going to use this component that I have as a reference to make the next component. We have a flat surface here. So I'm going to select it. From this pop-up menu, I'm going to click sketch, which activate the sketch mode on this highlighted surface. And I'm going to click away so it's not highlighted anymore. And then I'm gonna go to convert entities over here on the sketch tab, which converts whatever I select into a 2D sketch on the plane that we have activated. In this case, our plane is this flat surface around our shell, and click OK. Look, if I hide my component, you see this is the sketch that I have. I'm gonna extrude this sketch up just a bit. Not a lot. If it's 10, I need it for 1 up, but more down. So I'm going to activate sketch direction 2. Why more down? Because I'm going to create this cavity, and I don't want my component to be too thin. Otherwise, when I create this hole, you see the inside, and we don't want to do that. I just set it to 5 on the second dimension. However, since we have this angle here, if I extrude this like this, they're gonna penetrate into each other and they're gonna merge into one solid body. We could do that, or we could uncheck merge result and create different components. And let's do the latter because it's the better way to do this. Now the radius here is too small, it's not worth measuring. I'm just gonna go for something really small, like 0.25 or 0.5? 0.5, yeah. So this is 0.5, and this is the surface. All we need, this circle is here now. Now we need the circle. How do I measure this? The diameter of the circle is 61 millimeters over here, and it's about 16.7 from the top. Select the surface, activate the sketch by selecting the sketch option from the pop-up menu, Again, I can do that because this sketch or this surface is flat. That's why I get this option. Over here, because this surface is not flat, I don't get that option. So flat, spacebar, make it normal too. I'm gonna draw a circle on the center, not here, not here. I'm gonna use this guide curve that we learned to place it in the center like this. Right. And pick smart dimension. First of all, it was 61. Second of all, it was, I forgot. It was 16.4. Look, it doesn't matter. So from this point, I'm gonna have to select the circle and the shift, hold shift, and it doesn't work. Circle, this point, it works, but center to center, we don't want to do that. I measured corner to center, so I'm gonna hold shift, select the circle, and select the point like this. 16.4, doesn't matter. Press escape. Select the midpoint. It's still not fully defined. You can see that our dimension is bothering us, so we move it out. Again, select the center point, hold the control key down, select the origin point. Once both are selected, add a vertical relation to make it go fully defined. And now we have our opening. Let's just use extruded cut. Go like this much. We don't need that much. It's like a 5 millimeter ish, 6 is fine. We are not gonna see this anymore, so I don't want to measure it. Right. So this is it, and we're gonna have to have a curve here, which to me looks like this curve over here, which was 5.16 or something, and I'm gonna do the same here. Select this edge, go to fillet, set it to 5.16. Maybe this is it. Maybe it's too much. We can measure it again if it's not accurate. Depends how accurate you want to model this. So I have measured it on a paper. It's 8. Yeah, it's a little bit smaller, or maybe it's correct, doesn't matter. I just do that to 5. Null. Good. Now we need this ring, and for that we measure it. Thickness is 6 millimeters. Again, we need a plane to draw this. It's a rounded cross section that revolves around the circle. The best way to do this is to select the right plane, cut it in half. I mean, it's not cutting it, it's actually our view. We're looking at the cross section, and then we make it normal to wait, this one, yes, like it. So we select right plane, activate the sketch, move in here, draw a circle like this. We said the diameter was 6, so let's add 6. The 6 is this much, and we want to set it, yeah, let's put it on here so we cannot move it to the right or left, only up and down. And if we can select this point, hold control down, select this, and no, it doesn't work. You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to fix it here without actually fixing it using dimensions or sketch relations. The best way to do this is use dimensions. So I'm gonna select smart dimension from the center to the order coordinate and leave it at that, because optically it looks fine. Yep. And we're not finished. We need an axis because we want to revolve this. I'm going to use center line, where you can find here from the first point of the circle. Oh, we have the midpoint. Done. Did you see what happened? Again, I'm going to pick smart dimensions, fix this. We don't care where it's fixed from, as long as we have our axis in the center of the circle, which you can see here, and confirm. Look, we have the axis. We go to features, revolve bus, And again, uncheck merge results. Otherwise, they too end up being one solid body where you don't want to have them as one solid body. Last thing to finish up is to have this surface over here, which is concaved. Well, if it was a little bit higher and I would just draw a surface, then I would use freeform and immediately create this, which is about a couple of seconds of work. But I'm trying to make it for beginners. So again, I use right plane, cut my view in half so I can look better at what I'm doing over here. Like my view, and use right plane, activate the sketch. Good. If you can work with the 3-point arc, you should, wait a minute, it goes from underneath here. So I'm gonna place the first point underneath here, and second one somewhere here, and the third one, how can I measure that? Again, you can use a piece of paper. From here you go all the way to here. So this is the length of the arc. It's 52, but again, okay, let's fix this point. Move this. Oh yeah, look at that. It's definitely good enough. And let's unfix this and move it here. Actually, let's make these 2 points by selecting them both while holding the control key down in a vertical relation. Very good. And place it here. I want both points to be inside the cross section of my ring, which is this one and this one. So as long as the points are inside, I don't really care. Good. Now I have that. Let's fix one of them so it wouldn't move. And okay, no. Control Z, it was good. We go to offset entities. Set to 1. I don't know how thick it should be. Reverse it because we measured the outer one. Use a line to close it. Actually, we don't need both half. We just need one half. I'm gonna close it in the middle. Go to trim entities. Trim these 2. Okay, now go to feature, revolve, and revolve it around this axis. Uncheck merge result and click OK. Now let's see what we just made. Okay, so this is it. This is our speaker. Looking good. We can proceed to make this holder, which is really easy. This is like an extrusion done. A couple of more extrusions, but the tricky part was this that I just did. So I'm gonna ignore this. If you want, you can do all the holes in the back and so on and so forth, but I'm gonna leave it at this point and do a bonus for you. Let's save this and quickly open this in KeyShot. Okay guys, I just opened this component in KeyShot and let's add some material to it, do a quick rendering so we can get some more satisfaction out of it. I don't want to go into details. This video is not about rendering tutorial, so let's just give it a simple look. It's a little bit darker here and it's a little bit lighter here, so we do it like this, so it's more close to reality. And we didn't give it any material. It's plastic matte. Yeah. Alright guys, I don't even want to click on render because this is the preview. It's good enough. I'm gonna leave it at that. And this is how I would model something. So out looking, It's not that odd looking, but well, it was more complicated than I wanted. I thought it would be easier, to be honest. It had Loft. Again, for Loft, go watch my video. I'm gonna put the link in the description below. For the mini series, you have to watch the first 4 episodes definitely if you are watching this video, because otherwise there will be gaps in your knowledge and you cannot follow me. Once again, go to the link in the description below or on the top right corner and download your practice sheet. To download, you'll have to sign up, which allows you to also ask your questions on my forum where you get your answers really fast. So click on the link, sign up if you haven't already, download your drawing sheet, start practicing, ask your questions with the image where you get stuck if you are stuck on the forum. In the next video, you'll see I model the same object but for the first time, and I'll walk you through my mindset, show you how I would approach my modeling, which is a very important thing for you to learn right now. Okay, I'm Aryan. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon in the next episode.